Welcome to WNYU 89.1 FM. I'm super thrilled to be joined today by Lovejoy, who are just hours away from playing their first ever US show here tonight in New York City at the Bowery Ballroom. For anyone listening in who might not know the band, Lovejoy is an indie rock group from Brighton, England. And if you guys don't mind, I'd love for you guys to introduce yourselves and who you guys are on stage.
Hi, my name is Will Gold, and I am from Brighton, England.
Hello, my name is Joe Goldsmith. That's it.
Hello, I'm Mark. I play drums, and I'm also from Brighton, England. Hello.
We're missing Ash today, unfortunately, but
He's from Italy.
He's here in spirit.
Palermo, specifically.
awesome. Well, I mean, we're glad to have you guys here on WNYU. And like we just mentioned, this is your second ever interview. Hopefully it'll be published before the first. So yeah, so your fans, I mean, they're very excited. We're very honored to be here today. And I think this energy has sort of been building up. I even spoke to the first few fans. They're here since 6 a.m. waiting in line for you guys. And I think this has been sort of that same energy throughout London, throughout all the gigs you guys have played. But this anticipation has been sort of building up for you guys to play your first ever USA show. How are you guys? I mean, obviously, it's a very general question, but how are you guys feeling tonight? It's first ever USA show. Any expectations of a difference or anything like that?
I mean, I'm really excited for it. It's been a dream my whole life to come tour in America instead of just come over here and visit. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to see what the American crowd is like. It's a really big venue compared to what we played in the UK as well. So it's gonna be really interesting hearing all those American accents sing back in it. But yeah, to Will.
I'm very excited to hear the Americans sing. That's the big one for me.
Yeah, I'm also really hyped just to be here, honestly, let alone play a show. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it, you know?
Awesome. Well, obviously, you guys had a very successful run through. You guys played Brighton, Manchester, Leeds, Dublin. And I definitely think this crowd has sort of become more adept to this intense, lively energy. I think songs like The Fall are certainly where that plays into, or that kind of plays into it. But I guess, do you guys ever find yourself sort of adapting to this crowd, or is it more so you kind of get into your own headspace when it comes to playing, and you kind of take it from there? How do you guys sort of approach that?
I think that the crowd sort of react to how we perform and how much energy we put out, and then it's sort of reciprocated in that way, rather than say like the crowd give us the energy. I think it's important that we sort of put out a good vibe.
Yeah, we're not really. I wish we could do more like performing, like the audience are part of it, but it is very much just here's the set list, sit down and listen kind of vibe.
I agree.
Thanks.
Awesome. Now, with this discussion of sort of a lively crowd, I am curious. So before you guys went on stage to do your first ever gig at Hope and Ruin, if that's correct, Hope and Ruin, first ever gig as Lovejoy, you chose to do sort of a run of gigs that were under a pseudonym. Nobody knew who you guys were. Nobody knew that you guys were Lovejoy. You even went as far to call yourselves Lamp with Sock or whichever pseudonym you guys had come up for that night. Made a whole Twitter account for it, anything. But it's interesting. I'm kind of curious. What was this decision behind playing these sort of pseudonym gigs? Was it knowing? I mean, you knew that the crowd didn't know who you guys were. They didn't know your songs or anything like that. Was this to prepare? What was this choice?
So yeah, it's a bit of both. It's like, so we can mentally prepare for these shows, sort of, because I personally had never done a show like prior to that, so I needed that little bit of experience and that little bit of sort of like momentum leading into these shows. And so I think it was the best way, and to test out live stuff, figure out if stuff would go wrong and all of that sort of vibe.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, so it was good to use that as a break board so we could see what to do.
Yeah, it's like with the band we'd been rehearsing loads in rehearsal studios and stuff, and we could get it sounding one way in a rehearsal, and it just it doesn't ever end up like that when you play a live show, when all the nerves kick in and everything like that. So I think playing to a complete room of strangers that have no idea who we were kind of gave us like a good it was like a live rehearsal at that point, so it kind of got us ready for them playing under our real name. But really weirdly, I think was it the Asbo barbecue one, wherever the Prince Albert gig was, whichever name that was. Yeah, it was Asbo barbecue on it. Yeah, it turns out there were like 3 or 4 actual Lovejoy fans in the crowd that had somehow found it was us doing it, and they pulled up and they were like front row and they were bringing so much energy. It was crazy. So then a room of people that were just our friends and family that all just stood there. So yeah, no, it's really nice.
Interesting. Well, obviously you guys rose to this sort of fame and success very quickly. You guys released your first music video, Taught, and then One Day, as well as alongside with your EP On Your Right. Those videos easily reached 1 million views in under 24 hours, which is obviously very uncommon. And I know this is sort of part due, perhaps like your previous fan base you had withheld Wilbur. And I guess this question almost falls for you, Joe and Mark. Coming into Lovejoy, coming into this group, you're coming into a very, very large fan base that you sort of had no idea who they might be. Was there this sort of, I don't know, what was going through your head? You guys are sort of, suddenly you rose from, maybe, I don't know, maybe now you guys are getting recognized on the streets more often. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been incredibly sort of, moving and, amazing, incredible, all of those things that you can say. But, yeah, we didn't even expect it to do that well initially, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's incredible, and I love it. Yeah, when we were in the Isle of Wight, because known Will a little bit before, obviously knew he had like a big following, but I had no context to how big that following really was. So then to like see it, we released a music video, and Will was like watching like the view count for like the first like 20 minutes or something, and it got thousands and thousands of views like instantly, and that blew me away, because in my ignorance I really thought it was just another band I was joining. Like, I didn't think it was going to be like, I thought it was just going to be another band where you just rehearse a few times, maybe play a show or two, and then it fizzles out. But it's been actually incredible. It does, yeah. And for the first like year and a half whilst we were still in COVID or whatever, like you saw like a big number next to the stream or the streams and the views, and that was really weird as well, because the numbers all blurred into one, and it was really easy to forget that was actually an individual person watching. So now we started doing the shows, you can now put like faces to the numbers, and it's ridiculous to think there are actually that many of them out there. But it's an honor, honestly, to be in the position we're in, to be able to come out and play shows. Like, it's really hard to come to America, and we've done that. So it's sick, honestly.
Awesome. Well, now before we get into this music, I do want to sort of discuss this dynamic of the band, for anyone listening who might not know. So this band was formed, Wilbur and Joe, you guys knew each other beforehand, and then from there you were introduced to Ash, who is your bassist, from a friend, James Marriott, and then you gave up your address, and that sort of became of it. But the funny part, Mark, this was from a Fiverr ad, if this is correct.
Yeah, pretty much. I used to do session drums for people's music and stuff like that on Fiverr. And I think Will went on Fiverr and typed in, you can search by like location, so it like filters out anyone that's not in the UK. And I popped up, and yeah, he just messaged me, and he was like, yo, can you come record drums for the EP? And I think like on the street when we were waiting to go and do the EP recordings, we got locked out of the studio right as we started. Will was like, do you want $300 as like your fee and you don't join the band, or do you not want to get paid and join the band? And yeah, still waiting for that money, but yeah, so join the band, and yeah, it's been am I allowed to swear?
Awesome. Well, this is
I won't swear. It's fucking incredible, but yeah.
This is certainly an interesting group dynamic. I'm curious because a lot of bands, I interviewed some bands, a lot of them have either grown up with each other, they've been best friends for a while, all of that. That's not the case here. Obviously, when you guys came to forming Lovejoy, and now you guys are touring with each other constantly. I know there's been a lot of tribulations. It's been difficult getting here. It almost did not happen that this gig was canceled, which is insane. But we've seen everything that you guys have gone through just touring. How did it become this progression of sort of becoming familiar with each other as a group, as people who are now touring with each other? And in some ways, I know you guys are spending a lot of time with each other, and it sort of leads to a little bit hard-hitting, but sort of vulnerability, especially when you guys are writing your lyrics, and being very true to yourself. Does it take a while? Has it been sort of a natural progression, or?
I don't think so. I think I just kind of immediately got into my stride, I guess. I don't know about the others though.
I mean, yeah, I think we're all really similar people at heart, so in that sense it's easy for us to get along. But me and Will used to get along like just fine. And we still do, but yeah, we were really good mates prior anyway. So
yeah, when it came to writing like Pebble Brain, because as Are You Alright was released, we went on a trip to start writing the next record, and it's the first time other than like in the studio where I was just brought in on the day to record the drums for Are You Alright and stuff. It's the first time we really got a chance to like hang out, so it was really nice, like a few weeks of just chilling with the boys, writing some music, even though I think 27 of the demos got cut, and only the Fool and Model Buses made it through. But yeah, we then went off to Kent, and that's where like Perfume was made, and Ash was able to join us for that. So it was really nice to just, where you're essentially all living together, and just there's so much downtime between the music side of stuff that it's just a nice bonding experience, really, isn't it? Like, yeah, it's calm. It's been good.
Nice. Well, I would love to talk about your guys' releases. So far, we have 2 EPs that are out. Are You Alright and Pebble Brain. Are You Alright was your debut EP. Obviously, it rose very quickly to fame, got a lot of streams very quickly. And this is sort of described as, it's a lot of like nights out in the city, I guess. And writing this debut EP, all of that, was writing this album and sort of creating your sound as Lovejoy, as who you guys are, with this like intense, everything that you guys have sort of come forth already. Was this difficult, or did it sort of come naturally, or how did it sort of came to be where you guys decided on the sound and the lyrics and everything that came to be Are You Alright?
I think it kind of was based around the fact that me and Joe were listening to a lot of math rock at the time. So all our chords are just overly complicated jazz chords, played aggressively and strummed really hard, which I guess gave it that kind of unique sound that we weren't actually trying to aim for at all. I think we were actually trying to sound pretty much like everyone else at the time, but we sort of accidentally missed the mark and made something that was quite weird and obtuse. Lyrically, though, I've always had trouble with lyrics. I don't find them easy at all. I spent quite a while writing them and sort of bouncing them off Joe, who is my worst critic by far, and tells me when they suck quite a lot, which is what I want. Yeah. And he also is there to make sure I don't just go on YouTube all day, because I'm sat in front of a computer with Notepad open. I do just end up drifting and finding other stuff to do. So Joe's job is to be like there, so I feel like I have a responsibility most of the time. I remember Taunt was written, the lyrics were just written in one go, first draft. I just sat down, we wrote the tune over the span of like a couple days.
Yeah, not long.
Yeah, and then I went and sat in the corner next to a dresser. We didn't have a table, so I sat on my chest of drawers, and I just wrote all the lyrics on a note file on my phone, and then that was it. That was done. No, nothing else to add. But one day was like collaborative. Like you did the chorus for one day, and I did the verses, and then I guess you say Isaac wrote the little bridge hook. You know the. Oh, okay. Oh, that was Joe. Might be. And then Cause for Concern was originally called Tenerife Tower. It was a completely different song. Yeah. Did you forget that?
I forgot that.
And then Sex Sells was 3 different songs smushed together because we cut a song last minute and we're like, we need to add a new one. Yeah.
What's the question? What do I say?
Just say, yeah, Will, you're right.
Yeah, you're right, Will.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so everyone kind of, everyone's free to make decisions themselves in this band. I don't pressure anyone to say anything.
Nice. Well, with Pebble Braid, I guess this EP is sort of to be described as a breakup album, but more so with the country of England, if that makes sense. This is clearly very evident with Monobuses, which is in reference to Boris Johnson. When writing these lyrics, I know you guys you're talking about your relationship with a country you've grown up with. I guess, does it become easier as a band to sort of challenge politics? I don't know if this makes sense, but challenging politics in your music? Or is it something that's always kind of been consistent in your lyricism? It's something that you guys felt?
I think we're pretty passive when it comes to politics. Realistically, I think we have our strong set opinions, and obviously privately we really sort of fight and agree with them and try and understand other people's point of view and show other people our point of view. But in our music, I guess we went about it quite passively. I know me and Joe from the get-go just swore that we'd never make our music about politics, and then in the first year we then release an EP entirely about politics. But I guess we didn't predict the catastrophe that was going to unfold in 2021, so and then again in 2022. So but I think it does come naturally for me, because I am very invested in politics, which tends to end up with me running my mouth too much and getting in trouble.
I agree with you, Will.
I agree with you, Will.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. That's how we get along so well.
Now, talking about you guys growing as band and such, I really enjoyed the cover you guys did of Los Campesinos, if I'm pronouncing that right. Knee Deep at ATP. I don't want to mispronounce. But making this cover, I'm curious, how did this particular song, was this sort of just an all-time favorite, or did you guys feel that it fit the Lovejoy sound perfectly, or was it more adapting to who you guys are as a band, sound-wise?
Well, that was originally going to be the final track on a 4-track EP, but we just cut the other 3, so we were left with just the cover. Los Campesinos are kind of my biggest inspiration lyrically. I do like to hark back to them quite a lot. I make a lot of references to them, and it's all out of love and appreciation. It was it was just a song that I felt I felt like resonated a lot with a lot of the writing we'd already done, and I felt like it matched quite well, and I do love the song a lot. It's my favorite on that album.
Awesome. Well, I do want to talk about this new upcoming EP. I know it's been teased around. You guys even played some songs live this past weekend in London. Has there been any change in the sound you guys are creating as a band, or evolution when it comes to this production for this new upcoming EP, or has it been, because you guys are very, according to you said yourself, it's sooner than you realized this EP will be coming out.
So we've been working with different producers and different mixers and all of the above, just to try and make us sound even better, really, in terms of production. And I think hopefully we can, some of our fans will sort of tell the difference in that sense, because it'll be a much more fuller sound.
What was the question again, real quick? Just in a bullet point, sorry.
How different is
How-
the new stuff?
Oh, yeah. So I think it's, Are You Alright was pretty rocky, pretty indie, and then Pebble Brain was a bit more of a pop sort of record, and this one is a bit more kind of back to the gritty kind of rock sort of sound with indie throughout, obviously. But yeah, it's a lot not heavy. When I say heavier, people are going to be like, oh my god, they're releasing a metalcore album. No, nothing like that. It's just it sounds so much thicker. A lot of the songs have the same impact as the Fool's outro, and this time around it's going to be the way we've recorded it and everything like that. When you press play, it's going to blow your speakers out. It sounds so fat. It's insane. But it really definitely still has our overall sound, very indie, and also still sounds like it could just be recorded at like a live gig, but just even fuller, you know? It's sick. I love it.
Yeah, I think structurally I've liked doing more dynamic stuff with the songwriting in this EP. It's less so verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and it's a bit more, you know, I've changed the order up, and we have a key change in there at one point, you know. It's like, it's just we've definitely meddled with the structure in a quite a fun way, which I like.
Well, so sort of end off the topic of upcoming releases, you guys have, at this point, you guys have not collabed with any other artists. There has been no collabs. I guess a little bit of a more sillier question is there any artists or bands in particular that you guys may want to have featured on the upcoming projects, or even a debut album of some sort?
I think we're open to the idea, especially for singles, and I would have thought, but I mean, we still want to make an actual album. You know, we've only got EPs coming out, and we still want to do that, and we've got a lot of potential in ourselves to make even better songs, and we want to push that to the limit before we get too many other people involved, I would have said.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. These next two EPs are almost definitely just going to be us again. I can imagine, like, for the album, if you got like a 12-song album or something, it would be cool to get a feature on there at some point, some extra vocals or something. But in regard to who, I have no idea. Like, it would, I think your voice would work really well with like a female vocalist, like either doing harmonies or singing like another line underneath what you're singing. It just makes it really hard to do that live, is the only thing, because me and Joe would have to be up in our falsetto, like really going for it, which it won't really sound that great. But yeah, no, it would be cool. But yeah, like Joe said, like, we're still finding our sound a little bit, and also just really pushing to like try and write the best songs possible. So like, I think, yeah, keeping it between us for now is definitely probably the right move. Yeah.
Just to wrap up this interview, I mean, a little bit a funnier question. I like asking just random questions, but so Spotify Wraps just came out. Obviously, you guys, your fans have shown a lot of love, and you can see the minutes in them. And it's awesome seeing it, the support on Twitter and all that. Love to know from each of you guys, who was your top, or unless if you do Apple Music, I have no idea. Who was your top artist, or even just a favorite song this year?
I'll quickly get it up just to confirm, but mine were completely not what I thought they'd be. I had Doom. I had MF Doom as my top artist. Then I had like The Garden in there. I think I had Alt J too. But yeah, I'm just gonna look it up now. I think that's my main guys.
Mine was Front Bottoms. I had a lot of Los Campesinos, Wunderbar, and Modern Baseball, I think, were my main ones.
So my top one was Foals, and I have Joe to blame for that. He got me onto Foals, and my God, they're insane. It'd be really sick to go tour with them at some point, to be honest with you. But yeah, they were my top artists. Then a band called Everyone You Know. Which are, yeah, they're really sick. They write like good music, but like it kind of has like a club beat vibe to it sometimes, but like, which is not what I'd normally listen to, but they do it so well that it just works. And then I have a band called Thornhill, which are an Australian metal band, and a band called Ocean's 8 Alaska, who are from Birmingham. But those sorts of bands are what really makes like what I kind of like take from their drummers and then like put it into like a Lovejoy sort of way, sort of thing. Like, they've really inspired me to play metal drums and then stick it on Lovejoy stuff, really. But I think the maddest thing was seeing our own band Spotify Wrapped, which was fucking ridiculous. I think in that 1 year, our fans listened to us for the equivalent of 1,500 years. Years in a year, yeah. They listened for 1,500 years, which is crazy. Like, that's actually mind blowing. So like, thank you for all the support, guys. It's been incredible.
Amazing. I wound it off right just there. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak with me at WNYU. Once again, we wish you guys all the best luck on your sort of mini first ever USA tour. You guys have played tomorrow night at the Mercury Lounge in New York City and then Los Angeles. And for anyone who's listening and who might have not gotten tickets, Lovejoy is obviously just only getting started, and there's so much more to come. So do not be worried. We hope to see you guys in New York as soon as possible. And you can find Lovejoy on Instagram or Lovejoy Online and Twitter at just Lovejoy. Thanks once again, guys, for speaking with me. And this has been WNYU 89.1 FM.
Thank you very much. Cheers.